Alberta independence update for today. We will start with this video here titled Misinformation Risk High Amid Alberta Separation Debate. Researcher, this ought to be good.
On the heels of a poll showing a minority of Albertans feel strongly about separating from Canada, a professor who studies misinformation says he's seeing familiar patterns within public discourse. The Angus Reid poll published this week shows 8% of Albertans polled would definitely vote to leave Canada, with another 21% leaning that way. Tim Caulfield is Canada Research Chair in Health Law and Policy at the University of Alberta.
The majority of people that would use the term misinformation, if you asked them what is the gender of the Tumbler Ridge shooter, they'd probably start short-circuiting. Oh, well, it's complicated, and but right-wingers apparently always are the purveyors of misinformation.
He says vocal minorities can sometimes have an outsized influence on discourse around an issue. He says online echo chambers can make people believe they are actually part of a majority, and that polarizing topics like separation are driven by social media algorithms.
Research tells us...
That's so crazy, man. The online echo chambers. What is the CBC then? When you see a panel like this where everyone just agrees with each other, is that not an echo chamber, or is it only when it's ideas or political philosophy you disagree with? Then it's misinformation.
So many conservatives actually like Mark Carney. And maybe they didn't vote for him last election, but they are openly saying that they would vote for him if there was an election now because they think he's the...
Is that not an echo chamber? All just sitting there like this. Yes, this would be like Jeffrey Rath, Mitch Sylvester, Danielle Smith, and Ezra Levant on one panel, and that supposedly represents all of Canada. And that panel would actually be interesting, but look at this.
They like Mark Carney. And maybe they didn't vote for him last election, but they are openly saying that they would vote for him if there was an election now because they think he's the right...
It's been shown with data, by the way, that right-wingers actually disagree with each other more often than the left wing. The opinions are all very centralized, and left-wingers, for the most part, do not disagree with one another that often.
Research tells us that rage and grievance and fear drives our social media algorithms. So if you can weigh into it...
That sounds like the 2025 Liberal Party campaign, does it not? Elbows up, elbows up.
Research tells us that rage and grievance and fear drives our social media algorithms. So if you can weigh into a topic that is polarizing, that is built on grievance, you're more likely to get clicks. And I worry that we're going to see that happen in the separation debate. It already is.
He says he hopes to see government officials trying to bring down the temperature on the separation issue and promote more informed discourse.
Look, he didn't exactly frame it the way I would because I disagree with part of it, but part of that was kind of explaining how the internet works. People are going to click on subjects they're interested in. Part of that is just him whining about, I don't know, human nature, the internet, an algorithm. Okay, then we'll take a look at this video here. The title is Message to Separatists. I will play just a bit of this video.
The head of the Assembly of First Nations says separatists are wasting a lot of time threatening to take Alberta out of Canada. Cindy Woodhouse says it's simply not going to happen. Her frank assessment comes as new polling suggests the vast majority of Albertans want to remain in Confederation, and members of Alberta's own government won't even reveal where they truly stand. Here's Tim Brooke.
A resounding message from First Nations groups on Tuesday.
If you vote to separate from Canada, you can't take the land with you.
The national chief says separatists...
How come every time a First Nations leader is on television, it's a radical leftist? Is that organic? They can't all be left-wing. That makes no sense.
...can leave Alberta, but they can't have treaty lands.
That they can take the dirt that maybe their ancestors brought with them under their fingernails when they came over here from other places, because that's the only piece of land that they're going to take.
It's the latest.
We're all supposed to pretend, by the way, that isn't divisive. That's clearly incredibly divisive, but everyone has to pretend that that's just fine, and that Canadians who aren't Indigenous by that definition, but they've been here for generations, their grandfather, their great-grandfather, even further than that, But it's not their land, it's the land of this group of people. Ridiculous.
It's the latest barb in a long-standing back and forth between those who want the province to leave and those who don't. Alberta's last premier falls squarely in the latter camp.
For me, this is personal, and I think it is for a lot of Albertans too, including Albertans who really do believe we've gotten a raw deal and believe in a strong province.
Jason Kenney also believes
Jason Kenney represents the weak Conservative Party that exists today, in my opinion. Him and Doug Ford should create a political party called We're Liberals, but we say we are conservative.
Time for stronger messaging from those in charge.
The fact that you apparently have a large and growing number of people in that party who are trying to turn it into a separatist party is, I think, troublesome. And I think that this is not something where you can be half pregnant.
CTV News emailed every UCP MLA.
Okay, we will now get to something else. Okay, here's another short video on misinformation. The title of this short is called Spreading Misinformation on Alberta Separation Will Be Very Easy.
Now that so much media is done through the internet where there's very little control of it, it's very easy to generate AI, deepfake videos. It's going to be very easy to spread around misinformation and disinformation. And just if that wasn't scary enough, I just want to emphasize that research has shown that everyone's vulnerable to misinformation and disinformation, regardless of political leanings, education level, cognitive ability. And we will see, I'm not going to say we will see misinformation and disinformation campaigns.
Bro, you don't have to say disinformation following misinformation every time. That was 3 times in a row. I find this legitimately offensive when they do this. Oh, misinformation, disinformation on social media. It's insulting to the average person, of course. And man, if you didn't want more social media to take off, why is so much of the Canadian media one perspective? They might not think that is true, but the level of echo chamber bubble you have to be in to think the Canadian media is fair and unbiased is quite astounding.
Targeting both the pro and the anti-separatist sides in an effort to fuel affective political polarization. And we're about to enter very, very dangerous territory.
We'll finish this video with this short clip from a little while ago. They're talking about misinformation, though, in the last federal election.
Well, let's start with a straightforward question. How worried are you about information, manipulation that may be flowing out there in the social media sphere for Canadians to consume in this election?
Very, very.
And with that said, please like, please subscribe. Have a great day. See you in the next video.